right out here. Occasionally I hit the bike trail. They have a treatment. They have a treatment filter and everything so they can use their water.
Oh gosh, who's that?
Sometimes call it. Yeah,
The last of the car.
Mr. President, I told you he goes in mine.
I woke up and they were talking about how nice to come back.
How you doing, sir?
Good, sir.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Everyday racing.
I keep waiting. I'm wondering what.
I want to bring Tim Kilmar up front here for the invocation.
Our Lord sent His Son into the world to gather those who were scattered and to help us bridge the gap between heaven and earth, between us and God. May the bridges we dedicate today be symbols for us of the bridges we need to build amongst ourselves and between us and our Creator. Let us then call on God to bless those who have worked so hard on this project and to protect with His gracious help all those who will make use of these bridges. We read in the book of the prophet Isaiah, "Comfort, give comfort to my people, says your God. A voice proclaims in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord. Make straight in the wasteland a highway for our God. Every mountain shall be lifted up, and every valley shall be lifted up, and every mountain and hill made low. The rugged land shall be a plain, and the rough country a broad valley. Then the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all people shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken the word of the Lord." Let us pray. O God, you are never far off from those who serve you. With fatherly protection, you always guard those who trust in you. By your grace, be the guide going before all who use these bridges and this trail, and be the companion who sustains them on their way. By your favor, protect them from adversity so that they may arrive safely at their destinations and accomplish what they set out to do. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Okay, if we can please have the scouts come forward so we can have the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm going to ask that everyone please rise. Color guard, post the colors. Scout salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color guard dismissed.
Thank you, representatives of Cecil Scout Troop 1369 for the American Legion. 20 years ago, the Cecil Friends opened the Montour Trail Council completed the first section of the Montour Trail right here in Cecil Township, basically running from Cecil Park to just on the other end of the bridge over there in Hendersonville. And we're going to celebrate that 20 years here this October with a celebration, so you're all going to be invited to that. And for those 20 years, while that trail was paused at Morgan Road, the Cecil Friends decided we were going to take on our own project. Thanks to Dan Jones, who is sitting right over here in the corner, he got his nephew's grader and a bunch of other members of the Cecil Friends, including myself, Whitehall, Don Birdie, Ben Chinsky, who were here today to help us, Bill Palmer, John Hooten, and also thanks to the Cecil Department of Public Works, we constructed this section of trail from right here down to the Chartiers Creek Bridge. We managed to get some road material from PennDOT that was used for the base. And also thanks to the Thanks to the Meadows and for providing the limestone. The limestone was, they always leave a pile from the winter season, and we managed to get about 600 tons of limestone for the original tough surface on this section of trail. And this section of trail served fine for until about the year 2000, when we had a truck take out the bridge at Georgetown Road, and PennDOT wouldn't let us put the bridge in. So we had another gap on the trail, which lasted now for 12 years, and we had the gap up there, which lasted for 20 years. If you do walk down to the Georgetown Bridge today, you will see the old Georgetown Bridge sitting there along the left-hand side of the trail, and the the Montour Railroad Historical Society does hope to refurbish that bridge in time. And so we now thank you for coming here today, and we hope you enjoy our bridges. And we want the Cecil Friends also thank the Montour Trail Council for getting these bridges put in. And I now present Ned Williams, our president of the Montour Trail Council.
Wow, thank all of you for being here today. This really is a great celebration. A dozen years ago, when we first got some federal funding, thank you, Congressman, we started building bridges and building trail here through the central part of Washington County. And in over 4 different projects over the last 12 years, we've completed a lot of trail here through the central part of Washington County. There's a few things left yet to do. But these two have been a very, very difficult crossing for our trail users for many, many years, as Dennis said. And just since 1 week ago, since we opened them, there have been hordes of users through here. Lots and lots of people on bicycle, walking, everything. And so we're really, really happy to open these for the people here in the township and in the county, and also people traveling the thing from destinations far and wide. We also wish to thank the Allegheny Trail Alliance, who provided a tremendous amount of support, funding, and a lot of spiritual support as well, and has led the way for this trail in many ways. So thank you all. And we have a whole lot of people to thank here today, so we're going to try to sort of move through it as quickly as we can. But it's actually kind of an interesting problem that there are so many people that helped with this thing that it's going to take a little bit of doing to thank them all. But I'm going to start with Cecil Township. We're going to start with the Cecil Township supervisors, of whom we have a few here today. And Tom, would you want to lead it off?
Make a few comments on the designation of Cecil Township. Wow. The Cecil Township being named as the best place in Pennsylvania to raise a family, and the role the Montour Trail Council had in that. That Bloomsburg Business Week is just a publication to help businesses succeed. They also, the leader in the nation for doing best categories of colleges and schools and communities. You see on our sign over there, Cecil Township was named the best in Pennsylvania, and the trail did have a role in that.
Hello, I'm Andy Schrader. I'm one of the Cecil Township supervisors. I think this is fantastic. The bridges are in out there. I know if you've been using this part of the trail, you're really concerned crossing over those highways. Now nobody has to worry about that. What I was asked to talk about real quick here is how the Montour Trail complements some of the projects that are coming up in our township also. And right down the road here, we have a park that we're developing called Klinger Park. And the 26 acres involved in that park actually come down and border right on the trail over here. So what we've got going on there is we have 3 soccer fields that are going in. We have playground equipment, restroom, concession, and pavilions. Walking trails not only up through where you'll be able to walk off of the Montour Trail and go up to the park, but we also have a perimeter trail we're going around there with. And we have a volleyball court, and Jesse, you'll probably like this especially. We're going to try to put a dog park in up there so people can take their dogs up and let them run around up there in the area. Yeah. What's actually helped us a lot with that too is the reserve at South Point is right between, if I can lay this out for you, from the Montour Trail, you go up the park is the next section of property, and then between that and Klinger Road is a development going to be called the reserve at South Point. There'll be 370 apartments on 58 acres up there. Now what we were able to do when we were working with this developer is they helped us because they're going to construct a public road to township standards from Klinger Road all the way over to our park. and they're going to extend the water and sewage and electric to the park property, so we'll have easy tap-ins. They also are going to install 4,500 square yard gravel parking lot for our park up there, and a 6-foot wide concrete sidewalk, which will go from Klinger Park all the way down to Klinger Road. So, and they're going to give us any excess topsoil. What it does is it takes this park from 26 acres to 35 acres. So basically the cooperation between the Montour Trail Council and the Cecil Township and the developers up there, we're all going to be able to work together here and make this section, this whole area be much better for everyone.
I'm Frank Ludwin. I'm also supervisor in the township, and I manage the volunteer work crews, construction and everything. I want to thank all my volunteers because it's a great day and great things are happening in Cecil Township with the bridges. We put lights in the tunnel this year on the Montour Trail, where we're building the trail up to the park with the volunteers and some help from the county and everybody working together. This is great when a whole bunch of people get working together and get things done. If you fight amongst yourself, you don't get nothing done. And I've been with the trail for 12 years now. I've put a lot of things up, the building, the lighting tunnel, built a lot of trail, work on all the equipment, build equipment, and it's great to work with a bunch of people from Montour Trail in the township and the county. Thank you.
I'm going to take the time to introduce Dale Risker, President of the South Point Chamber of Commerce, who's going to tell us what the meaning of behind the connection between the trail and South Point.
Thank you. Well, the sun's not shining on us, but it is shining on the Montour Trail in Washington County today because of the great work and the volunteers and the trail people and our state and federal help that we've had. I just want to talk a minute about how important that the Montour Trail is as far as Chamber of Commerce. And Chamber of Commerce is more than just the South Point Chamber of Commerce. It's Chamber of Commerce for businesses here in Washington County. I'm hoping that we can move forward with this project from the Klinger Park over to South Point. We have approximately 250 businesses located in South Point. In that 250 business, there's approximately 7,000 employees. And if you drive through South Point either at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock, I'm sure we've all experienced that. But if you go through at lunchtime, how many people from the employees are out walking on the sidewalks and so on and so forth? So if we are able to get this connection from the South Point area over to the Montour Trail, it will be great for the South Point people as well as the Montour Trail people. One other thing I want to mention is I'm sure we've all heard about South Point 2, it's under construction. Basically, it's smaller acreage, but the demographics are going to be the same. We're looking at 250 to 300 new businesses, another 7,000 people, employees. So now that's jumping us up to 14,000 people. I think that's all beneficial for Washington County and the Montour Trail that we all can benefit. So as far as the South Point Chamber, South Point Marcellus Shell Chamber, anything that we can do to help the people with the Montour Trail make this happen, we're all in to help you folks, and we're looking forward to get this completed as soon as possible. Thank you.
Ed Taylor, if he'd like to come up and say a couple words. He's our project manager on this project, and he's managed a couple of other projects on the Montour Trail as well. Mr. Taylor.
Well, when I came aboard, I joined the Montour Trail organization about 13 years ago. The Morganza Road crossing was one of our priorities. And we proceeded with this fits and starts. One thing we did was to buy a second-hand bridge and build up with the intention of installing it. But it turns out that DOT doesn't really like second-hand bridges over their roads. So it sat here for many years, And eventually we found a new use for it over in South Park Township, where it's been installed. Well, then another project came up. We had some money set aside for this job, and but the way things worked was that, well, we had to use the money for another bridge. We were ordered to do this, so that put off the Morganza Road crossing for another couple of years. Finally, we got some money to do the design and worked it through, got the design approved, and finally, with the help of DOT, the oversight of DOT, we managed to hire a contractor and build the bridge. Also the one down at Georgetown Road. So I'm very happy that we've achieved this point right now.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. This time I'd like to introduce Mary Shaw, the president, or whatever she wants to call herself, of the Trail Volunteer Fund. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, and thank you all, particularly the volunteers. The Trail Volunteer Fund is a fund at the Pittsburgh Foundation. We are the donor advisors of it. Its purpose is to provide materials for volunteer projects. And so this is our way of thanking all of the volunteers who put in so much time and effort on the trail. In this case, we were able to provide some of the limestone for the connection between the two bridges, which was put down by the volunteers. And so we want to thank all the volunteers for all they've done, and particularly for the work on the bridges and this little stretch in here.
A round of applause for the volunteers.
As Meg will probably tell you, volunteers are always welcome, and anybody can submit funds, submit a project to the volunteer fund. Its goal is no worthy project with willing volunteers should flounder for lack of materials or tools. So submit your projects.
At this time, I'd like to take time to introduce Dana Bucci from the Washington County Tourist Promotion Agency.
Pleased and very happy and honored to be here today to celebrate the Montour Trail and the two bridges that have been enacted. The Montour Trail Council and the trail is a tremendous asset to the community, as you know, to the entire county and to the region. Our agency, the Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency, has been very pleased to financially support and promote the Montour Trail for a number of years now, 10 plus years, through our tourism grants program. It has brought in a number of visitors from throughout the entire region, from other states and beyond. So we're very pleased and happy to do so. We commend the organization, all of the volunteers for all of its efforts and hard work throughout the years, and invite all of you to bring back your family and friends as often as possible to enjoy the experiences on the trail. Thanks.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Lou Ann Pollock from the Washington County Local Shares Account.
Hi, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm here representing the Local Share Account Committee, and that is the committee that was formed when the casino came into the county, and we were given a certain amount of money to disperse for projects. In 2009, and what we did was we recommended projects to the commissioners, and then they approved. Normally they approved what we recommend, and in 2009 the LSA committee recommended $11,631,000 of casino-funded county money to be awarded to various projects that included economic development projects, water and sewage projects, and community projects. $419,531 of this money was awarded for the construction of the Montour Trail Phase 19, which is the construction of the Georgetown and Morganza bridges. The LSA funded 22% of the total project cost. And also in 2009, the LSA approved funding for the new bridge over Beebout Road for a match amount of $380,500. So in 2009 alone, $800,031 was awarded for trail projects. 7% of the 2009 funding was awarded for the trail projects. This is just a testament of the LSA committee county commissioners and how we are so aware of this regional asset, and the development of this trail has been such a wonderful thing for everyone in this area. I remember going on this trail. I've seen families, friendships develop. It's been you all know what an asset it is. So we congratulate the numerous volunteers and municipalities who have worked to make this a happy and safe trail for all of the walkers and runners and bikers and the numerous people who use it. Thank you very much.
I'd like to introduce the Honorable Harlan Schober, Commissioner from Washington County.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm listening to the volunteers being congratulated, people that donate the money, and this is truly, as Bracken Burns, my predecessor, said, it's a great day in Washington County. I think something like that. I guess I have to change that, and I'll say it's a great day in Southwest PA. And why I say that is, look at the trails, the Panhandle Trail, the Montour, the one we're doing here. I'm sorry, the Montour Trail. Everything we're doing here, the Mingo Park, we just put about another couple miles of roads and trails in there. And I was talking to someone the other day from Allegheny County, and they said, when is that trail being done? Whether the bridge is going to be paved in Mingo, because they come in from all areas. And we talk about job creation, the South Point, you know, that's a great thing. Again, in Cecil Township, by the way, you got to got everything down here, don't you? But you know, you talk about job creation, you talk about attraction and destination of the Washington County area, whether it's the casino, the meadows, you know, the Tanger outlets, the trolley museum, and you could go on and on and on. But I look at the trails and I say, gee whiz, where can you do better? You have family things can be done here, right? You come out as a family. It's a healthy thing. And it is attraction for everybody. I don't know if my first 7 months in office is what's going to happen. I've been to a number of trail openings and bridge openings. And I'd say this is exciting times. I congratulate all of you, and those who are here today are supporters. I just need to figure out what bike I need to ride, because I'm out shopping for one, so I'll take any advice today. Thank you, everybody.
I want to welcome Representative Jesse White, right here from Cecil Township.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here today, not just as a supporter of the Montour Trail, but as a regular user. My fiance and I are out here regularly with our dogs. They don't know a whole lot of words, but if you say to them, do you want to go for a walk on the trail? They absolutely lose their minds. They go absolutely nuts, which is one of the reasons we couldn't bring them here, because they'd be too much of a distraction. So we're out here regularly. My fiance was out here just this morning practicing for a half marathon, and this is one of the few places that I like to come whenever I really need some time to just kind of think and blow off a little bit of steam, and it's really a great outlet to have. And one of the great things about the trails is that this is a project and a resource that really knows no political boundaries, and it knows no boundaries within government. And I think the fact that we have everybody here today from the local, the state, the county, and the federal, plus the nonprofit and the business community here, really reaffirms that commitment. I was on the local share committee with Luann and everybody from the county back in 2009. And as we were going through and kind of organizing the projects and looking at them, the trail was kind of a no-brainer. We just kind of knew. We knew that it was a good investment. We knew it was something people would be able to enjoy. And we knew that the Montour Trail Council, because of their great reputation for getting things done through volunteers, that they would make good on their promise. So it was an easy investment for us to make, and the fact that we're standing here today reaffirms that it was definitely an investment that's paying dividends. You know, I represent 22 municipalities, but I live here in Cecil Township, and I think that, you know, having the network of the trails here really does make this a destination. And the fact that, as Tom mentioned, our township has been, you know, recognized nationally as a great place to raise a family, and as someone who's planning on raising a family here, I'm really proud to be a part of that. And I think that when you have things like the trails, plus the business development and everything, it creates a sense of community that we don't really see in a lot of places anymore. And in a lot of places where that sense of community is going down, around here it's rising up. And what that does is it makes investments easier, it makes communities better places that people want to be, and also, if you saw the news this week, it makes communities, it gives you an ability to have a community worth fighting for. Cecil Township proved this week on a statewide stage they were willing to fight to keep the community they want for the people that live here. So I'm proud to represent Cecil Township, and I'm even more proud to live here. Thank you very much.
Introduce the Tandem Connection, Seth Fossmeyer and David Poe are going to tell us about a very exciting business about to take place along the trail.
Good afternoon. My name is David Poe. This is my wife Lori, and this is Seth Fossmeyer and his wife Lori, and we're here to announce the Tandem Connection. It's a new business that we're actually purchasing the building behind us. So the business, the building become a bike rental, initially refreshments to refuel everybody that's using the trail, and you know, we'll build on that. We're here to just support the trail users. We just want to be there for people to rent bikes, to refuel, and we'll be adding other things as we move on forward in the business. And this should be relatively in the near future. We want to thank Ned Williams and all his effort with putting the trails together, with the bridges. Without him doing that, this building itself was on an island and really was not feasible to start a bike business on an island that nobody could cross the street on. So by putting these bridges in, has really opened the doors to the community for doing other types of business along the trail. Along with thanking the Montour Trail, we want to thank our funding, the Progress Fund, Dave and Karen. Without the funding to make this possible, you know, it would still be the same building that it is. So we want to thank them very much for helping us out, and it's going to be a great thing. We look forward to seeing you out on the trail.
Okay. All right, Dennis, give it to David.
Thank you, guys. I'll also introduce David Cayley from the Progress Fund, who has some more information to add to this.
Well, of course, I want to thank all of the volunteers, everybody that's built this trail, because you've also built one of the best business parks I think we have in Western Pennsylvania. These folks just represent one of the many businesses that we've funded. We're a nonprofit. We lend money to help people create these businesses, and every last one of nearly 20 businesses we've lent money to along the Great Allegheny Passage is successful, growing beyond their expectations. So if I may, to the volunteers, you built the trail, help me build the communities that we have in this region by sending people to the Shameless Commerce Division of the Progress Fund, and we'd be happy to give loans to them. The other thing I want to thank is we don't get done like you don't get your trail done without funding. And I just want to call out two people here because our funders aren't too far away from your funders. Linda McKenna Box from her foundation, or the family foundation, I should say. I'm going to get chastised otherwise, but I want to thank her. You heard we lend, but the other thing we do is a thing called the Trail Town program, which is an economic development program to work in the communities. And we hope to do as much along the Montour Trail as we've done along the Gap. So we look forward to future work. The other thing is behind me, and I apologize for turning my back to the congressman, but Tim has done an incredible job in helping us get funding at the federal level, which has turned into loans out in this region. So thank you very much, sir.
I'd like to introduce the Brothers Daily from the Berg's Pizza and Wings in Bridgeville. They do have a presentation here to make. Hello there, Dan and Frank, and I turn it over to you guys.
Okay. Thanks everyone for coming. We want to take this time to present our annual check for our 12th run and walk that we do for the Montour Trail. Who are we giving the check to? Okay, Ned, it's with myself and Frank and Dan's pleasure that we'd like to present this year's check from our 12th annual race in the amount of $27,500. That brings our total up to just shy of $240,000, and we appreciate all the trail counselors' help and assistance in making this an annual event, and it's grown every year, and this was our best year. So,
well, thank you. Yep. Thank you very much. This is really quite an astounding thing for an individual private business to hold a fundraising event on the trail every year. We cooperate with it, but they basically do the whole event, run the whole event, and make a donation to the trail every year. And over all the years of the event, as Tom said, it's pushing $250,000 that they have given the trail, which is astounding on the part of a single private business to do such a thing. So that's really the gold standard for the involvement of a business with a trail. And we thank you guys for showing such tremendous leadership. Thank you again.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Representative Tim Murphy, who's helped and made this project very possible. Tim?
Thank you. Give him the last one. Okay. I don't have an hour speech here anymore. So much has been said. A couple of things. There's been a couple $1 million of federal and state money over the years I've worked on to bring your dollars back home. And I figure out by the number of constituents I have, although some people sometimes say, well, should we be working on earmarks? It works out, I think, about 25 cents a year for many of my constituents. I think we can handle that strain. But because to have a linear park like this that goes on throughout this area of Allegheny and Washington County, that other parks continue on all the way to Washington, D.C., thanks to all the work that Linda McKenna Box does and the foundations do, and so many. It's just awesome to have this. This is one of those wow kind of days. We did it. And all those people in their bright shirts who put all the sweat in over the years as the trail volunteers, and all the people who use us, thank you to all of you. It's nice, I know when I jog along this trail and bike along this trail, there's a lot of familiar faces, and everybody knows we all see each other as we're going along. That little nod as we go by, the little wave, all those things. It's important, and I think it's important as we also do this when you go by the volunteers. If you can't stop and help them for a while, at least say thank you. So let's get on with opening up this trail and have this tremendous celebration, and thanks again to all of you who've made this wonderful trail possible.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, couple other little things. I just wanted to mention that we have representatives here of our contractor, Beach Construction, who constructed these bridges. Representatives of the construction inspection firm, Trumbull TCMS, of the design firm, Mackin Engineering, is here. There are a whole lot of other folks here. We couldn't have done the design of these bridges without help from the state of Pennsylvania through the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Tracy, stick your hand in the air. Okay, thank you. There are so many people here to thank. It's just really, really a wonderful thing. And we certainly have to thank Dennis Sims, who's the president of the Cecil Friends of the Montour Trail. And Dennis is also, by profession, Dennis is a meteorologist with Air Science Consultants in Bridgeville, and look at the blue sky. All right. So we thank you, Dennis, for the appropriate meteorology today. All right, that concludes this portion of the program. We're going to stroll down to the nearest bridge, the Morganza Bridge, right down there, and we're going to open the ceremonial gates on the bridge. And we do have some lunch here provided by Berg's Pizza and Wings, some sandwich rings, and a number of other things. We'll also be, for those that want to, strolling down to the Georgetown Bridge, which is a few hundred yards down that way. So again, thank you all for coming, and thank all of you that contributed to this project. Okay, we're going to open the gates.
Easy pass.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. And the gates open on the Georgetown and Morganza bridges. All right, thank you. Thank you,